right, for this week's Fail Forward Files, let's talk about feedback. Feedback is a gift, but you have to filter it out. Since I've started my podcast, I've received a lot of feedback, a whole lot of feedback. And in fact, with me, I'm so type A. Remember, I'm still a recovering type A. I haven't gotten all the way from recovery. I take a lot of that feedback, not personally, but I try to make sure, is it something that I can actually correct, action on, et cetera, et cetera. But what is happening is that I'm receiving too many pieces of feedback from too many different sources who have too many different points of views. So what I always have to remember, and like just in general, Black people are not a monolith. We're just not. Some things are going to resonate one way with someone else. Some things will resonate in a different way with somebody else. And I recognize that I was really taking in all the feedback that people were giving to me out of love because, like I said, these are people who I trust. Feedback is a gift, et cetera, et cetera. And I was trying to make these modifications along the way. And what happens when you're serving and trying to serve so many masters, you really get nothing done the way you want to get it done. So I had to really take a step back and remember that this is my vision. I'm still creating this in the way that I want it to look. It's not going to be perfect, which I'm a recovering perfectionist, y'all. So I have to remember to give myself a ton of grace through this process and not rely on outside validation when it's not necessarily needed. So take from this piece of failure for me is, think about feedback, think about how you would like to receive it and interpret it. So you can receive the gift and, use the gift per se, or you can say this is a beautiful gift and maybe pass it on to someone else. I know we've regifted some stuff. It was just Christmas and the holidays, so there was some regifting going on. Or you can like just, take it for what it is and maybe put it away or throw it away or whatever it is. Some gifts just ain't from some gifts from folks is just not going to be for everybody. And I'm slowly but surely learning that. And what I'm really learning in this whole entire process of being a creator, figuring out what is my juju, what's going to make it work, what's going to make me different, is that at the end of the day, I have to rely on my own uniqueness. So, for those of us out there who are creating, who are trying to figure it out, remember your voice is your voice. Like, stick with what makes you unique. We don't need everyone story, business, etc., looking like a carbon copy of everyone else. Think about like the Kim Kardashian effect. Everyone don't need to look like Kardashians with filler lips, with filler behinds. No judgment, but just from the carbon copy perspective, you won't stick out if you look the same in the crowd. And that is this week's Fail Forward File.